Hello everyone, welcome to Titan Academy. In this video we will talk about the PDF in the Titan docs. Alright, so I have a fresh form here, and if we'll head over to the document generation options, so form settings, document generation, we see PDF mapping, which contains the manual PDF and the dynamic PDF, and we have the auto PDF. So let's start with the auto PDF since it's pretty straightforward. We'll hit configure, we'll enable the auto PDF, and let me show you what this does. And you can run it also from Salesforce using either Apex, Process Builder, Salesforce Button, and I'll show you on the manual and on the dynamic how to upload it to Salesforce. It's the same process as like the auto PDF. What the auto PDF will do is it will take a screenshot of your form and we'll generate a PDF from that. So let's say we'll have a text box over here, and we'll clone it a couple times. Let's say we'll have a section with, let's say, a drop down, and let's add a submit button. We'll change this to submit. And what we will do is, let's grab contact, and I'll map it statically to that contact, but you can obviously do a dynamic, just showing you how this behaves. All right, so let's do this. And we'll head over to the Salesforce Integration. We'll head over to push, add an object. Let's create a file. Want to file. And let's map our fields. So we will say title. Let's give it a static title. Obviously it can be dynamic. In our instance, we're just going to make it static. So auto PDF. And we'll do first published location. We'll put in our contact ID statically. Obviously, you should not do stuff like that, just for demonstration. And let's pass in the version data, and we'll map it to the auto PDF. This will push in the body of the auto PDF. We'll hit apply and finish. We'll save this. Publish our form. And I'll type some stuff in the text box, and I'll hit submit. Let's take a look at our integration logs. All right, so we see our submission, and we'll wait for our PDF to be created, and here it is. If I'll click this guy, it will take me to my Salesforce, and here is our auto PDF. So you can see what this does. It just takes a snapshot in an A4 format of your form, and if we had a page break, it will just take whatever we have on the form. So we'll just take a snapshot of it and generate a PDF from that. You can see that the images are included. Whatever you got on the form, this is what it will generate. One thing to keep in mind here, and this goes for all the PDF mappings, and it's the same for the Word as well, and it's the same for mapping, that for instance, if we will have a condition over here saying that if this field contains ABC, then go to the other text box and hide it. And if we'll refresh this guy and I'll say ABC, and this is hidden, then obviously it will not show up in the generated PDF. So if you want to have your fields shown, do not hide them. Otherwise, and also if you hide, like I've said before, even in the dynamic PDF and the manual PDF, they will not be shown. And same for push. If you're trying to push a hidden field, then it will not show. All right, let's move on to our manual PDF. So let's get rid of everything here. And we'll head over to document generation. Let's remove the auto PDF. And we'll head over to PDF mapping. And you can see you can add multiple PDFs here. And we'll click edit. And we'll start with the manual. So you know it's manual since you know the dynamic mode is off. And let me show you what the manual can do. Now the manual is a great option for when you have closed PDF, it's not dynamic, everything there is static, you do not need to change anything there dynamically, just have fields filled up on the PDF. So let's grab something here, and let's say I have an example of a PDF, and here it is. Okay, so we have our closed PDF, and let's say we want to add some fields over here. And I'll show you a few options with interactive as well, just to demonstrate this. So we can see a full name, and we'll put in a phone and an email, and that should be enough. So let's put in a text box for, this will be first name, and we'll have another one for last name, and let's put in an email, and we can have either a phone number, or let's just do a text box for phone number. The way that the PDFs work, the manual and the dynamic, they interact directly with your form. So for instance, let's add a submit. And we'll change it to a submit. Okay, we'll head back to our manual PDF, and now we can add an element. Start with the phone number, and now we can place it wherever we want on the form. So let's put it on the home phone, and we can stretch it like so. You can play around with the fonts, the line height. You can change the entire font for everything. You can change the font size for everything, the background, etc. We have specific videos about the manual PDF showing all the features here. So we will add another element. So we'll say, let's say we want to get the first name, and we'll add the last name, give it a space, and our email address. And we'll hit apply and save it. Let's just change our push. So we're still going to create a file, just instead of the version data, we will change it to our PDF mapping. And let's take a look at the title. We'll do a manual PDF. And again, this is static, and I'm pushing it to a static contact as well. Not something you should do, just focusing on the document generation here. All right, I'll hit apply and finish, and we want to preview it before the submission, so I'll show you how this looks like in real time. So I'll head over to settings, and you can see you have a bunch of settings here, and everything has a question mark, and you can click it, and it will show you what this does. With a quick video, very, very easy way to learn. Okay, so I'll take the preview before submit, and I'll hit apply. In a second, we'll toy around with the interactive mode as well. So we'll hit apply, save, refresh our form, and if I'll click on the submit, I'll open a preview window, and we can control the zoom as it opens, so it will be easier for us to see it. The full name is empty, everything here is empty. If I hit cancel, I say first name first, this will be last, cdo@formtitan.com, and phone number like so. I'll hit submit again, and now we can see our mapped fields. So you can see it interacts directly with your form. Same thing goes for the dynamic, which we will view in a minute. So everything is reacting to your form, and if you were hiding fields, it will disappear from here. If you add conditional logic, you can add calculated fields, anything you want on the form you can add. You can also do something like a signature. So if I'll throw in a signature, and let's place it over here. And we'll head back to our PDF. Zoom out a little bit. And let's say we want the signature. So we'll do the signature. We can add it, let's say, over here. We'll hit apply and save, and refresh this guy. Phone number and a signature. If I'll hit submit, and we're previewing it right now, I can see my signature right there. Let's take a quick look at the interactive, and we'll move on. So I'll head over to settings, and I'll select interactive mode. I'll hit configure, and now you can select your elements. Whatever you've added on your PDF, you can make interactive. Let's say you want the signature to be interactive, and you want it to be mandatory, and you want the email to be mandatory and inline editing. And again, you'll see this everywhere, the question marks. Very, very easy way to learn what everything does. So we'll hit apply and save. Let's refresh this, and I'm just going to hit submit over here, and we can see that I directly can fill in the email from here on the actual document. So, and I'll show you what this does. I'm going to cancel this out, and you'll see how cool this is. So I'll hit apply, and let's cancel. And you can see that the email on the actual form and the signature were filled out from the preview on the PDF. This means that you can fill up interactive fields on the PDF and then later on use them in your push. Let's say you will update a contact or create a contact in this scenario. Whatever it is you're doing, you can use these fields in your push, and you will be able to do something like this. So let's say we will hide the whole thing. Let's say you just want to show the document, so you can do, just imagine this, hide per device, and we'll hide per device, and we can put them aside since the user is not going to see them. And then we'll head over to our PDF mapping, and we will say auto preview, and we'll hit apply. Just imagine that everything there was interactive. You know what, let's just do it real quick. So settings, configure, first name, last name, phone number, everything is interactive. And again, you can decide if it's mandatory or not. We'll hit apply, save, refresh our form. And I should have hidden everything, also the submit button, and then basically your client doesn't see a thing. And now you can fill in your first, last, and we'll do this, and we'll click to sign. We have everything here. Once I hit finish, Titan will submit my document, and if we'll go to the account settings and refresh, we can see that our file was created. We did not change the name of the file create, but it's our manual PDF. So if I'll click this guy and I'll take a look at the document, here it is, directly from our interactive manual PDF. So in our instance, what you will do is, like I've said before, you will hide the whole thing. Your user doesn't see anything. Also the submit button. And you'll have your form open up automatically with the preview. All right, say we want to bring this form to be generated from Salesforce. Okay, so let's revert everything back. We do not need the signature. First name can be hidden, that's fine. We don't need anything here. What we will do is edit this guy. Let's remove the interactive, since we will map our fields from Salesforce. We do not need auto preview. And what we will do is add a hidden and say we want to bring this information from the contact, so this will be our contact ID hidden. We'll head over to our Salesforce integration, get, add object, contact, and set our condition. We'll say contact ID on Salesforce on the contact equals to the contact ID on my form, on my hidden. Let's map our fields. So first name and let's map the last name. We have email and a phone number. Apply and finish. And now I'll head back to our manual PDF, and the same process goes for the dynamic as well. Okay, so document generation, edit the PDF mapping, settings, and we'll scroll down. We'll say Salesforce button. In the previous video I've shown you, you can use Salesforce Apex, Process Builder as well. You can generate it from any of these. Let's use the Salesforce button in our instance. So I'll hit configure and I'll say my data comes in. Main object I'm putting, you can pull child objects, and we'll see this in the dynamic PDF. The main object is a contact, and I want you to, the ID comes from the contact ID. And you will see a bunch of options here, and everything here, like before, has question marks. I'm not going to explain everything, just show you how to control, for instance, the file name on the email. If you use an email, you can dynamically control it from here, or you can use a custom, and then you can combine a few fields directly from your object. In Salesforce, in our instance, it's from the contact object. Okay. I'll hit apply and save this, and if I'll head over to my Salesforce environment, and go to Contacts, and let's select this guy again, and I'll click the FT Generate Document button. I do not see it here. The reason for this is we did not give permissions for this document. So I'll head over to my account, collaborators. I'm already a collaborator, so I'm just gonna click Next, and I'll say Form. I want to give permission to Titan Docs to PDF. I'll head over to Submission, and I will allow this Salesforce user, Brave Fox, to be able to submit this file. Let's close this guy, and I'll click FT Generate Document again, and here it is. Now I can preview the file directly from here, and I will pull up the preview with everything mapped. So here is our information from Salesforce, and I should have made this font a little bigger so we can see it clearer. Everything comes directly from Salesforce. And if I'll hit the generate, like we've explained in the previous videos, it will just run all your pushes that you have on the form. So in my instance, it's just a creation of a file, and this is what it will do. So if I'll go back to my integration logs and refresh, I can see that there is a request from a Salesforce button with this user ID and this record ID, and in a second we can see our document generation. Here it is, and can head over here. Can also see it on the contact itself. It already downloaded on my computer, and here is our document. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the dynamic PDF. So let's get rid of our manual mode, and we'll move on to the dynamic mode. The dynamic mode lets you create dynamic PDFs. You can design them with HTML, and you can have related records in. Meaning is, say you want to bring 0 to n number of records, that your PDF will grow accordingly to your dynamic data. You can do it with the dynamic PDF. So for instance, let's do something like so. Let's put these back. We'll show them on the device. And say, put back we'll add a section over here. Let's put these guys in the section. And let's say we want to get all of the contacts that we have in Salesforce, and we want to show them. And I'll show you a nice example for this in a minute, just for you to understand the concept here. All right, so I'll add also repeated so we can add more sections for it afterwards. And we'll head over to our Salesforce integration, to our get some contacts. And I will execute this on form load, and I will remove my condition, and let's just sort by created date, and we'll hit apply. And our mappings should be sound. Let's see what we have mapped. Last name, first name, email, phone number. Wonderful. And let's head over to our PDF again. So dynamic mode on, and here you can style it what you see, what you get, and you can also use, if you do source code, you can write HTML, write your own styles, etc. Okay, so let's say we want to bring in all the contacts onto the PDF. You have two ways of going about it to show repeated data. You can use a section on the PDF or you can use a table. So let's start with a table. So what I will do is head over to Insert and I'll do 1 by 1 table, and we can style this table however we like. What I will do over here is you can do, you know what, let's scratch it. Let's add a table. We have I think 4 fields. Now we can do first name, first, we'll do last, email, and phone. Now we can either right click, insert field, and we can do first and last, or we can click over here insert field, email, and phone. If I'll right click on the table, you can see that I have repeat settings. If I'll click on the repeat settings, you can have stuff like when do you want to break to a new page. You can break table by, if you're grouping by something, you can break table by account ID, and then every account with its contacts in our instance will have its own table. You can render table header, not render, word break, etc. Nested mode, everything here. You have the question mark. Feel free to click on it and learn how it's done. In my instance, I'm not going to set anything. Just hit apply and save. And let's publish it. And we got only one, since in our get we forgot something. So we'll head over here, we'll say multiple matches, take ID from all, let's limit by 20, and we'll apply, save, head back to our form, refresh, and now we have multiple contacts. If I'll click submit, okay, we have some invalid email addresses. And let's see if we can sort this out. We have one more. And we'll submit this. And here is our table with the repeated data inside. Can also do something like add, just to show you how this interacts directly with the form, so your data doesn't have to sit on Salesforce for you to generate the document. We can do hello and some phone number and some last name and some email, and I'll hit submit, and we'll preview our latest contact. Okay, this is really great. We can do something similar with a section, and the section gives you more designing power. The table is great, and you can design it however you like, and in a moment I'll show you a better design document than this. Okay, so let's say we want to bring everything into a section, and we'll do insert section, and here you can select what you want to repeat your section by. In our instance, it will be this section. I did not name it. This is my correct sections where all the fields that I want to repeat sitting by. And you can do similar to the table, first break after, when do you want to break to a new page. So let's do one, and then every one, and then you can do don't break page for last item, and you can do nested mode as if you, let's say, in one section you're getting the account, and then under that section, and they're both repeated, and under that section you're getting all the contacts, and then you can bring in a first section, and then the second one will be a nested one. The first one will be for the account information, second one will be for the contact information. In our instance, let's just leave it empty, and again you can click this guy and it will explain all about nested sections. And from here you can add whatever we want from that section that we're repeating. So we'll insert the field. We can do first name, and then we can do insert another field. We'll do last name, and we have our email, and let's do the email and phone number one right next to another. So and we'll hit apply, and let's refresh this guy, and I'll have the same problems with the emails, so let's fix it. And here is our sections. If I'll preview it for printing, so I can print directly from here, you will see it more in a PDF-like document. So we can see that it broke section for every single one of these. So you know that you can use this section and have, let's say you want to bring an account, and under that account you want to bring in all the contact details. You can do everything in one page using the break by and the section. Let me take you to a nice example of the dynamic PDF. So I'll hit File, Open, and we'll go to Equipment Demo. All right, let me show you what this does. So we have a section here with a bunch of data. Everything is coming from Salesforce. Let's take a look at our Salesforce integration. We have a get for the opportunity, and we have a get for the opportunity product. So we're getting information from the opportunity by the opportunity ID. So this is our main object here. And then we're mapping a bunch of data, some of it from the account, some of it from the opportunity itself. We have like a calculated feed also to do. I'll show you that in just a second. And our second get is for the opportunity products, and our condition is give me all the opportunity products where the opportunity ID on the opportunity products equals to the opportunity ID. And we have our fields mapped into a section, so we will get all the opportunity products that are under that opportunity. All right, let's take a quick peek at our document here. So document generation. This is a dynamic PDF, and you can see how you can style this. So if I'll take a look at this source, this is a custom HTML, and you can use stuff like, we have a bunch of templates here. So if I'll add another one, you can start off with a template. So let's say you want resume, you can choose from here whatever you like, and then you can customize it to your needs. All right, so let's cancel out of this, and let's take a look at what I've done here. So everything here is mapped directly from the form, and all the data is coming from Salesforce. In this instance, I'm using a table like I've shown you before to show the repeated data. So if I'll take a look at the repeat settings, I do not have any, just showing all the products I've got, and we'll hit apply and save, and we can view it directly from here, or we can go to Salesforce and do the same. Let's just take a look at the parameters. So opportunity ID is FLD2. I'll publish this guy, and let's pass in FLD2 equals, and I see that I already have a value here, and we'll open this opportunity in Salesforce as well in just a second. Okay, so we see we got all the data, and let's take a look at our push here. And we're creating a file. Just keep in mind that you're not limited in this push. You can, like, when you create the file, you can also update the opportunity to say that the file was generated. You're limitless. You can run any push you like directly from here once your client pushed the PDF. All right, so once I hit finish, it will create this file on the opportunity object. So if I'll head over to the opportunity, and let's just put this ID over here. We'll be able to see our file attached to the record. We'll click this guy. We can preview our file directly from here. Can also do the same since I've added it and I gave a collaborator access to my user in Salesforce. I can also do the same from here. Let me show you a quick few things about document generation. So if we will choose an email, for instance, we will see the file automatically attached here, and you will see this is a funny name. It comes dynamically. You usually have mapping.pdf or something like that. And the reason that I have it with that name is if I'll head over to the document generation, edit this guy, and I'll head over to the settings, and we'll take a look at the Salesforce button, and I'll hit configure, and we'll take a look at this guy. I can see that I have a custom file name. In my instance, I've chosen to add the opportunity ID with the equipment, and you can add anything from here. It comes dynamically from the opportunity in my instance. Another way to control the file name, for instance, on emails, you can control it from this guy over here. And if you want to learn more, just click the need help and it will explain to you all about it. So if we will click dynamic file name and then we will email it to the client, everything will be dictated from here, and you can select any hidden to set the dynamic file name. So you can have conditions, map stuff to the hidden, set the hidden value from different fields, you name it, and then you can just dictate which hidden you want to take the dynamic file name from. Another way to have the form sent to an email is you can either send to owner, so this is the owner of the form, or send to additional is if we'll head over to the email fields and we'll say additional emails, and you will add an email over here. If you tick send to additional, it will also send the generated document to this email. For instance, if we had an email field over here, and we will tick on this email, send email to filler, and you can customize email the mail that the filler will be getting. You can do custom mail, and again, question marks, just feel free to click them and learn. Let's head back to our document generation, and I'll show you how you can get this PDF sent to the filler as well. So if I'll head back to the email, now you can see that you can send it also, send to form emails, and you can tick this, and that form filler will get the document attached to his email as well. And if you had multiple over here, so let's name this email 2, and I ticked it as send email to filler, and we'll go back to our PDF mapping settings, email file name, and you'll have the email 2. In this short video, we covered just a little bit of the usages of the PDF and the PDF settings. There is so much more here. It's just to get you started. Just feel free to click on the question marks, and it will you'll be able to learn everything from there. And this is how it's done.